Awesome. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Spill the Tea. Um, I know we have been missing and we have been going week every other week, but we will be more consistent starting this Saturday. We're in the middle of all kind of things, good things. I guess we'll give updates on all of that soon. But we are so happy to be here to talk with our really good friends, the Williams and Noah, Sean and Leisha Williams. Let me put some respect on their name. Pastor Sean and Pastor Leisha Williams with us, and also our dear friends Brandon and Geodale Wall. And listen, I had to just commend Gio on her snapback. I mean, baby don't even reach 8 weeks fully yet, and already, she look like she going to model. So really good to have our friends and persons were reaching out to us over House of Clay and instant phone calls asking us, what do you think about Derek Jackson and his confession with his wife and all of that? Then Sean came by and we were having a discussion about it and we are like, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's have this discussion. I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, we're so bad. We're so bad these days. We don't remind our guests that they should have a cup to drink something. But these are veteran spill the tears. So I don't think I have to remind them. Some have been on spill the tea multiple times. So before we run into the discussion, Isha is here. Before we jump right into the discussion, do anybody have their cup? What's in your cup? Let's start there. If anybody has it.
Water.
Same for you, Brandon?
No, I have some mint and moringa.
Oh.
Interesting. What inspired that?
It was in the cupboard.
True inspiration. Williams?
You have.
Well, because I see the title Confessions, and we never know nothing about this. You come with that little thing stronger that like me not know what to expect. So me
loosen up the spirit.
My senses.
So I got my hobby spill the tea cup. You guys know it's from Essentials by Tal. And in it though, I got something a little stronger, not too strong, it's a little stronger. Red Stripe sorry. I think I may need to sip something with a little, you know, as we do confession.
I agree.
I have water. I'm going with Geodale with water. Word.
Clearly she has nothing to confess. Right. For those who don't know, we are Kavan and Keisha Allen, and we own House of Clay, a luxury bridal fashion house here in Jamaica. And we make wedding dresses and evening dresses for women, all custom made, amazing stuff. You can check us out on Instagram, House of Clay JA, or on Facebook, or you can check out our website at houseofclayjamaica.com. But we also believe in marriage, and we have started Spill the Tea, real couples talking about real marriages, and we really hope to inspire people to have great marriages and to indeed make marriage great again. So we're jumping right into it. You
hold on, and Keisha and Kavan, KK, they also do marriage coaching to help people to prepare for marriage and just to ensure that we go into it with the right mindset, some do's and don'ts, so that they can coach you to success. So I highly recommend them. They look young, they know what they have great wisdom and great insight, and they have an international audience in doing it. So applaud, man.
This is why Sean is our most frequent Spill the Tea guest. This is exactly why. You know, I see Aaron. I see. Baby. I see the prince. Big up. But yes, we really believe in marriage, and we really want marriage to be great. So guys, tell people to jump on. We're going to talk about real things. Keisha and I was having this discussion that infidelity is almost at a 50% high that 50
It's
almost
more than 50%
around 50 or a little more.
of all persons in a relationship will get cheated on.
None.
Can you
So
believe that? Like
that was
Hold
a
on,
little
it's a
friend.
half.
at least one spouse, like let's say, I think 50% of 50%.
So when you have what about it? It's not 1 in 3.
I think why
1 in 3?
1 in 2. So
it's kind of rough.
if you
still.
work with the statistics,
What? Yo, it looks sticky.
It's
It looks sticky.
rough.
we are
Bro.
we trust. I trust that we are all in the safe 50%. Because I can guarantee you my wife would not come on alive holding my hand. I can guarantee. But I think
Well,
that's a
I'll
good
be very gracious in my comments, even though I am still in that safe zone, you know, because others
You
have
have
been very vocal.
You have to be. So Derek Jackson is a self-proclaimed relationship coach, guru, counselor, advisor. I don't know how you'd put it. And he has a good big following on social media, and he puts out videos really mostly encouraging women not to stay in abusive relationships, whether infidelity, are just people that men not putting in the effort as they should to make sure a woman feels like the queen she is. And so he really appeals to women and encourages them not to settle. So you can imagine how shocked his audience was when he did a video a few weeks ago with his wife. They were kind of holding hands, and
Well, everybody talking about the fact that they were holding hands.
support. You know, she wasn't just there. They were clearly
Yeah.
there was this support. But he said that a year ago they had dealt with the fact that he cheated multiple times with different women. And you know, they worked through it, and now a year later, they I think two things I believe happened. One they didn't say, one they did say. Somebody came out on social media talking about him and him cheating with them, and also he wrote a book that talked about healing together, which my assumption is, this is my assumption. If I read the book, I don't read any review on the book, but because it's called Healing Together, they went through separation from about January 2020 to about August 2020 because of infidelity. They come up with a book. I assume that maybe they speak about working through infidelity. So I believe the video was somewhat answering the allegations, plus the fact that you would learn in a book about what is happening. And so a lot of people have their views on the video, how it was done, why it was done, if it should be done. I know my panelists here.
Well, there's a part of it that I don't know if you said, but I didn't hear that. They had already. It was something that his wife had known.
Yeah.
And she left when she heard.
Yeah, man.
So when this person actually did the interview or came out or whatever, this was something they were already dealing with.
Yeah. Well, they said they have already dealt with it.
Right, because she
left and came back.
She didn't come back until she felt like she saw certain changes.
Yeah.
So
with that said, I mean, people had a lot of opinions. A lot of people were talking about how she looked as if she was forced to do it. A lot of people said that it shouldn't be done over social media. There's also a lot of things. A lot of people found it weird that at times he said Derek Jackson cheated with multiple women, you know, speaking about himself in the third person. Some people just felt he was hypocritical because he told women to leave their man if they were caught cheating. And now here he is, that he was cheating while telling women to. So, you know, I would love to hear from our panelists what are their views on the whole Derek Jackson saga. Yeah. What you guys?
Hello, Brandon.
No, I'll allow the wisdom in you to come out first.
You know, I wasn't a follower of his, but I was aware of him. And I was not necessarily a student of his, because some of his solutions, ideas, in my mind lacked a level of grace. But you know, to each his own. If you do your thing, you have a following. That's your thing, you know. So when I heard of his stepping out, it's not surprising because man a man, you know, even if you posit a particular view, if you aren't careful, you can get caught up. But for me is, I think because he was judgmental in how he gave advice, like he was more bashing men, you know, people are got hard at him, you know, because you are being a hypocrite while you're going on YouTube in your car while you get your white bun, you know? And so, man, they are savage. I mean, the internet, the memes, the trolls, the jokes, savage. But in my mind, if he was judgmental, I have to be cautious how I judge him now because I'll be just like he was. And I have no idea the ins and outs in their marriage, so I can't comment on it. I'm just glad says not me. I'm just glad says not me, man. Because
Lishan, will Lisha hold your hand?
you know,
What's the
but not just to fail.
No,
but there's something about failing in public that puts additional pressure on the relationship. You know, so these are my opening comments.
Let me say this. I just want to quickly thank everybody who is on and in the chat saying good night. Thank you. Big up on yourself. Even have comment that wine is good, water is good. Nobody now big up the red stripe sorrel, but you know, I don't feel bad. I'll drink away. Well, good night, everyone. Thank you for coming on. We love to hear your views about the Derek Jackson saga. Big up to our producer today, Kenny Allen. You can see on the screen he has a picture up of the Jacksons. You know, I really wanted to do this. I'm going to do it now. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. All right. So
this one's for me. Yeah.
So they have the picture up for those who may not know who they are, but that's the couple that we're talking about. And so thank you, Sean. I really do agree with what you're saying in terms of, you know, the Bible says something, you know, not to overly spiritual, but it just said judge not, you know. And so I think with the same measure, that's what it says, the same measure that you judge, you will be judged. And I feel like he did come down hard. And in a sense, rightfully so in some occasions. I mean, right, you can judge the situation, but teach how to graciously handle it. And I think that was very missing from how he directed persons all along. So I do agree. I know he's getting back the same measure, probably worse.
Multiplied.
So I know Lisha Stevens was going to go next. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, like Sean, I was aware of Derek Jackson, but wasn't really a follower because like I wasn't a fan of how matter-of-factly he would give his advice, and it was a very black and white thing. And like I'm not really buy the white knight on the white horse kind of story. Like I'm always skeptical of these things. So I wasn't a follower. But when I woke up that morning and the internet was behaving really rowdy, I decided I would go research what was happening here. And so I ended up watching about 50 minutes of videos, like their videos, not commentaries. Don't care about the other people's opinion, but about 50 minutes of videos, just watching them talk about it. And I can tell you that it would be surprising to me as a wife to see me in that position, sitting down, holding your hand while all of this go through. Like, that's not my jam. I wasn't there. But I respect her right to do that, you understand? And what was sad for me was to see that when people were coming out against her as well to say what her decision should have been. So there were people who were saying that she should not have stayed. I don't think we can make decisions like that for people. It has to be the person's choice. and even ridiculing the fact that she was there looking like a puppet, which is also her choice, to sit there and really stand by her husband and do what she did.
Stand by your man.
And so, and so for me, it was just sad to see that in the aftermath, she who is the ultimate victim in all of this is still being the ultimate victim, because she's the one, like I think Derek Jackson is being dragged, yes, and quite deservedly so, maybe, but the attacks that have come against her, I find to be so unfair. The attacks against, how she presented herself. Like tonight, me say, look here, Nisha, you're not come on no internet without makeup and proper clothes, because the people out there are going really bad. Like them savage.
Yeah, man.
Like, no, sir, we are fix up and come on tonight.
That's exactly
Not
what went
me.
through my mind.
Listen, I wanted to say this though. So I'm in the same boat with you guys. I knew who he was. I didn't even know his name, but once I saw the picture, I knew, know. But I never knew his wife, so I was very interested to see. But now I liked her. I wanted to see what his wife looked like. But now I go around it. She's very beautiful. And I never cared what she was in. I never feel like it was a modeling contest, to be honest. But people seem to think that she should have done the most,
No, if I did me have come out, me I put on all of my clothes, them, all of my jewelry, them, all of my makeup.
There, the wife had no time to care about, hey, the internet is buzzing.
No, but I think there is a sincerity in simply being yourself and sharing your heart and what you have gone through without the fluff. And my thing is just like she has gone through so much, and for whatever reason, if she chose to share her heart, her views on social media, people have their own expectation of how she should act, and a blast her for it. Like, how can you tell somebody how to respond in their relationship? You may not agree, but that's their choice. And I see people all try to go in our mind and tell me, why should I be? You don't know. Stop guess. You don't know. Don't act like an expert. Don't show her eyes, how she glance, how she look. We have no idea what's going on in her heart and why she chose to do what she do. I think we should handle her with far more grace. Far more grace. Don't talk.
I thank you so much. I know Gio wanted to say something earlier, so I want to give you the chance to jump in.
I don't remember what I was saying at that particular point, but definitely agree with you both. My initial reaction was, how hypocritical he seemed to have been preaching against this thing. And I mean, we went back to check the dates and to fact check to say, boy, like, he was preaching while, under the quiet he was doing it. But very humbling for us. Thankfully, it wasn't us, but, it was one of those situations where, like, boy, it could have been us, but thanks be to God. I think I felt a little bit of remorse for both of them initially, but the kind of, the follow-up videos, I don't know if you guys saw, where he did a reaction to their life, to his own life.
Yes.
I actually thought that was clever, brilliantly executed. I mean, and this is where I wanted to go. I was going to drop
No, bro, hold on.
Brilliantly executed.
No.
Let me say why, Sean.
Did you see my friend face a while ago, Gio? Like, clever. Please, make Gio talk.
No. Let me just say
when you see him record their coming out video and the side-by-side picture of him a comment on their interview and saying Derek Jackson, like it's not him named Derek Jackson. Just tell me your thoughts.
No, let me just. Before they drag me on the internet, let me just say why I think it's brilliant. And then you can understand. Because what we are missing in this whole thing is that he has a book out.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
really.
and I felt that was a brilliant mark because he reacts to videos and reacts to things happening. So reacting to himself, keeping himself relevant when people should kind of just cancel him, cancel culture. He made himself so relevant with reacting to his video. I thought it was brilliant, and he promoted the book very well as he reacted to the video. So that's what I said. I think it was another level of brilliance. Taking lime and making lemonade. Why you take and make what? Lemon to make lemonade, I think. So that's me.
Or probably monetizing his cheating and appearing insincere, not authentic, money hungry, deceptive, manipulative.
And that is what my issue with the video. That is my issue. Not that he did a video, but I'll talk about that after. So
Yeah.
I'll get there. So I do agree. Go ahead, Jill.
I was about to say, in the strictest of business sense, it was a good play.
Of course.
That a great play, a great way to sell, because he started off by saying, I am going to talk in the third person. So it wasn't a surprise. Then he started reacting to himself, almost as though he did not know himself.
Yeah.
And then he
probably didn't. That's the problem in the first
question. Is it possible that when he was doing the initial live with his wife, he knew he was going to critique himself, and that influenced what he said and how he shared it?
That's possible. That's possible. So
therefore, the whole thing probably some nice drama fiasco created to appear sincere. To
well, I don't know about that.
And then,
I don't know.
That would be like next level manipulation.
That's called narcissism.
Right, because what he did too, is so all the things that were negative in the comments, he made it positive in his reaction.
Yeah.
So he spoke about people saying that his wife felt timid and he was controlling her and manipulating her and so on. And then he said, but I went and watched some other of her videos, and I noticed that her videos, and I noticed that this was her natural personality or something along that line. And then he went off to say, and this man that was in the video talking, he seemed so genuine, and I do want to big him up for coming out and sharing. And I mean, I sat down and I listened, and I really started to reflect on or remember other people who've been caught in some type of way. You have people like Ty Tribbett who was caught. John Gray was caught. Many others. And in the case, especially I mentioned Ty Tribbett because I think how he handled it made him still a good voice in the space. He didn't try to cover it up for himself. He didn't try to victimize his wife. He didn't try to make any other sales. He was very emotional about his apology. He publicly apologized several times. He went through counseling, and he and his wife are happily married and together. We're not there to talk about whether or not a man and woman should divorce or remarry or get back together or whatever it is. But I think how you handle the situation will definitely say to me if this man is a narcissist or insane or in really need deliverance.
You know what? I think from this day, I will talk in the third person. Like Lisa, Sean Williams is hungry. Sean wants some sex. Okay?
The objective though.
Sean is not in the mood to do any housework, okay? Sean is tired. Let us see if it seems normal to anybody else except me. I don't know.
And then what you need to know is justify why Sean is tired and why Sean...
Right. You know, he works hard.
Yeah, man.
He was out during lockdown to serve the family. Yes. Yes. Anyway, go, Cap.
I don't know if Keisha wants to say something before we move to the next question. I mean, I'm going to say something as well. You want me to go first?
Me just have one question. So if we're still on it, if you're making a comment on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a comment on it, but all right, so before I comment, I just want to read the chat. I love how buzzy the chat is today. Clearly, you all feel some strong way about this Derek Jackson thing. Onelia Taylor says he needs godly sorrow. Lady Glenn Legacy said, call it out, Mr. Williams. She also said very possible because of his arrogance in terms of him staging the whole thing. She says he's a narcissist, big up himself. You know, everybody just, a lot of people just commenting and just how horrible, I guess that would be the word, this whole fiasco is. For me, when I listen to what they say is, clearly he was sincere enough to win back his wife. Clearly he and Mrs. Jackson.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, she said that she was.
Based on what we see, yes.
Yeah. Well, based on what they said, sorry. Based on what was, because she said she left. She said that she left. They said they spoke, she knew from January there about she left, she came back in August because she saw a real change. Taking them at their word, right?
Right.
So clearly.
But it can be clearly.
Well, so based on that, I am assuming that this was all because of the book. And this was all because of his online
going live
monetary
was
no going live. I don't think was to make amends. He would have done that before. It was now damage control to promote a book to stay relevant, and that is the issue I have, because I think there's some things that you just you don't use. You don't play with it.
But bro, did he have a choice though? If he is a guru about relationship, where he's championing how men relate and build his brand on that subject, and you have people coming out in social media, in social space saying him cheat and all manner of things in a very descriptive manner. So you need no imagination. He must respond. He couldn't just leave it.
I think he could have given a public statement.
That's it.
No, but
the people who do less, actually, the whole the what you call it now? It blows up quickly. Scandal blows up. So if you give a statement, my wife and I, whatever. I mean, Brandon mentioned a few people, and whatever. Carlets. I don't want just call out names and people.
Yeah, but those people were not going on a YouTube live daily about the money were cheat. A different thing that boss, a different thing. He had to do something to communicate to the people a sense of remorse, humility.
So you don't think a statement could have done that, Sean?
Eh?
Because this never worked. Clearly, the live never worked.
It worked.
Remember, you know, the fact that he is a relationship guru, and we have to look at the power play. The fact that he's a relationship guru and has set the stage for what a successful marriage looks like. He set the stage for how to secure a woman. He set the stage for instructing women how to make sure that your man is doing certain things. To make sure that he's selling himself as a type of guru, it would have been extremely important to win back his wife. If he never win back his wife, at that point, he within himself as a true narcissist can say, I've lost all credibility.
Good point.
But then, the fact that he's gotten back his wife, the man is still credible because he knows how to play the game.
Well, it's for me.
His head.
What I am trying to do is judge actions, not heart. You know, so I will not go into that level, but I don't think he had much of a choice, Kavan, to simply put out a statement. He had to come and show, as Brandon says, something to continue to the word now, legitimize who he is and who he posits to be, you know, and I'm just hoping that all of this is not just applied to maintain his name or sell book.
Oh, and the, good point, Sean. The other thing I wanted to mention, Jay had said it earlier, I forgot about it, that it really humbled us. And I mean, we're all Christians. Sin is a choice. And no, everybody can decide or choose the sin at this point in time. Gia said it earlier that thank God and never we. And the truth is, knowing like this guru whose wife made a video about wearing helmet of salvation right after, and fear and dopey and all these things, puts you in a place of trying to, God, you really have to guide us in our relationship. We can't truly exclude ourselves from making mistakes. And a lot of us, in our own relationships, we have messed up. We probably never publicly messed up. We probably never cheat on our wives, but we have messed up. And I think this public, I guess what I would call a humiliation, is critical for us to remain humble. It's a good teacher for us to remain humble.
Brandon, I don't want no new female friend. No, I'm not new female friend. Like,
the new one, them, Sean.
No, sir. I'm a friend them married and happily married, but good. Because it's scary, man. No, I am somebody, whenever I hear somebody have a moral failure, my first thought is to look in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why, Sean, what are you doing? Are you leaving yourself careless? Because there are many, let's say, good intentioned men.
Yes.
Who have great wives, great passion, great moral character, but just put themselves in a bad situation, and before you know it, them kingdom gone.
Yeah.
So it's a very humbling story. Whereas like some of us are on social media and we put forward moral values and virtues, there is a greater responsibility for us to truly mirror and model those. So me humble. Me I think thinking about me.
Yeah.
You guys, excellent points. And a lot of people are agreeing with that. It was seemingly a game to him. Joel Blake's an excellent point, Brandon. Lady Glenn, he might have done everything possible to win her back. Shirley Gooden, he's a walking paradox. And O'Neill agreeing that he had to show his followers he wasn't feeling in his relationship and all of that. So, I mean, I want to ask about Keisha first, and then I want to kind of do a segue. Go ahead.
I have a question. Because
boy, I feel nervous now.
you know, everybody out there in the world, we touch base with both couples. We said what we wanted to talk about. We didn't say how you must dress. And for some reason, all the women came wearing black.
Black.
We are mourning. Zara that I was standing in solidarity with the beret and the...
Yeah. Go to Keisha.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. I guess I've heard about. I guess I've always I don't know if me just believe in a too much fairy tale or something. But like in recent times, hearing about all of these things and people confessing and people messing up and like some of the best men, as people would put it, you see in having shortcomings and stuff like that. And to a point where it makes me wonder if, and even with the statistics that we were talking about earlier, it kind of makes me wonder, is it something that I should expect? Is it inevitable? I mean, why do men cheat? I don't get it. I'm trying to understand how I don't think that these things happen overnight. Usually when stuff like that happen, it's either a series of very bad choices, or you did set out in your heart, say, yo, this is me, this is my lifestyle. I gotta get married, but yo, I gotta do me, I gotta do road. I guess for the ones, everybody know that you have men who are women. Let me not put it just on men, because it's not just men who cheat. You have people who have issues that they didn't deal with, and they cheat, they do stuff, they are not honorable, they go out and hurt the people that they made certain vows to. But what I don't know, I kinda have this sense that is just something that men have to deal with. What is it that causes
Compel men to cheat.
them? Why do some of the best men fall into this trap? What is it? What's happening? I don't understand.
No, Lady Glenn.
Being that I'm not an expert
Adam.
in the field.
I blame Adam. That's
You see, blame Adam. That's it. Being that I am not an expert in the field. But you know, the reality is for a man, and I appreciate Keisha saying that it's not men alone that cheat. But clearly you can't hide it. The only person in denial is Charlemagne the God with the song Black Men Don't Cheat. But everybody else know that men seem to be
but I was watching a thing with him today, commenting on the same thing, and he spoke about that, you know, it's just like 5 years since he hasn't, and that he was like one of those men with the road, and he was just talking about his progress and whatever. And it's like, based on how a lot of men talk, it just seems like it's something that every man deals with at some point.
I think
what is it?
In trying to answer, I will start and my brothers can complete. I think there are many reasons. One of which is that some men actually think that is what being a man is about. That having enough girls is what defines them, what communicates masculinity. So in their mind, it's natural that I, as a man, have enough woman. And that's what we are told in song, in movies, just socialization. Yeah, right? Yeah. Secondly, I've heard people say that it is normal to follow your natural desires. So if I feel like doing this, it is normal to follow through on it. That's how they reason. But deeply though, is that men are flawed. We have certain needs or holes in us emotionally, sometimes spiritually, and we seek to satisfy our desires to address these holes in us. But a physical act can heal a hole deep on the inside. And so men are wounded, men are afraid, poor fathers, no one to guide or mentor. Plus, to be told, sex feels good. It feels nice. And if you can take care of your woman, make sure say, boy, she all right, take care of you them, and you go out every now and again and do your thing. Yeah, I like, you know, so, and it's a cultural reality, you know, and so I would not justify it, but I understand it. And as a man who lived in this culture, who was in that culture, grew up in that culture, I can relate to the pressure that they may feel in making bad decisions to go where they are not to go. So I understand it. Yeah, but I don't think it is inevitable though.
you said that the whole issue of sex being important to men. I know that for a fact, but I've seen and heard situations where the wife will even say she has given him everything, like anything him asks for, she gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's not like you have wives that didn't go through the phase that I went through with no sex drive. Wives that will go out of their way to ensure that if that him want or that him gonna get when he want it, and then he still goes out and does other stuff with other. I feel like that is a slap in the face. I think that is evil. I think that is very selfish. And I think we make excuses for these things in society too much. And I think it needs to be addressed.
I agree with you.
Men need to be held accountable. And it can't just be, oh, we come out on social media. What are the things that we need to put in place? How should we be training our children, our boys, our girls? What are we to be telling them to change the narrative? Because something is obviously wrong.
And I agree with you 100%, but I want to add this. That thinking that women tend to have, that I have done so and so and so and so and so, it sounds good enough. But if a man is broken on the inside, your actions, your love, you're doing all these things can't heal him. He's still broken. And women have to understand that be faithful, yes, be great, yes. But the truth is that man, me, have to seek healing and get healing and being whole, because you can't make me whole. And therefore, women should not, for the most part, take responsibility for a man, because you can be the best wife and still get burned. Why? Because the man broken. And we keep on thinking that sex and the next woman can fix the brokenness. It don't work. It don't work. And I agree though, we have to begin to think, how do we raise up our young people that their thoughts about relationships and cheating are of a particular standard or caliber or principle base. I'm done. Who's next?
I wanted to, I agree with you both, Keisha. I think men need to be, Keisha and Sean, men need to be held accountable to their actions, 100%. And somebody in the comments said that cheating is a choice. It's very true. You do everything in life, really. Without getting too technical, yeah, everything in life is a choice. And we have to, going back to what you said, Sean, we have to start creating new cultural norms for, or even our own male friends around us. That it starts by teaching how to honor or your wife, or even your girlfriend for that matter. Let's say that you're not yet married, you're courting somebody, you're dating somebody, you like somebody. Learn how to honor that single person. Even if you're not yet in a quote unquote committed relationship according to the law of the land, living together for 5 years or whatever it is.
Whatever.
You're still choosing to honor this person. I think the culture that we live in, and I don't know if I've been influenced by the culture around, but I've definitely been in situations where people were trying to say to me that I am less of a man because I did not do certain things. I didn't have 5 girlfriends at the same time. I did not cheat on one. I didn't, all of these nice things. And I think, I don't know, it really does have to go back to how do we create this new normal, right? This new normal for our own male friends.
I want to have some things,
without victimizing women.
Right.
You know, there's so much on my mind. I want to take
Sorry,
this, but
Brandon, we were laughing
there was a
because of
comment in this.
comment.
First of all, the chat is
Me
blowing.
laugh after me have to fast
Chat
come
is
inside.
going. I mean, they're having. I mean, we can't get to everything being said, but there's some great points in chat. But this got to Shirley couldn't. Is what broke him.
It's what broke him.
What broke him. Right?
Enough things, Shirley, enough things.
Yeah, and then what is our responsibility as women when him broke?
So
Like,
this
what me to do then?
no,
Walk away, leave him, make him unbroke himself.
well, there's so much to it.
Yeah, come on, talk first.
I want women to understand, and it's not making excuses, just so you can understand that for a man, there are two things to sex. One, it's if you are not a self-aware man, it's more about the ego. You know,
Ego, right?
even with good intentions, when you like somebody who likes you, it gives you such an ego boost. When the person you like likes you, sorry. And you don't have to do anything wrong for a man to get another high of another ego boost from another woman. You know, so I love my wife, but this person make me feel like, oh, I still have it. Keisha and I have been married for 10 years. I can't, it's so hard to believe that. I mean, it don't feel like 10 years. I don't feel old either. And so if somebody, after a man 10 years married, if a woman make a sly remark or comment, he might say, oh, I still have it. And it starts to feed his ego. And it's something that every man has to be very self-aware about. To realize that men, I always joke that men are like God, right? We love praises for different reasons, maybe, but you know, when you praise man, them just feel. And sometimes that, when we are able to sleep with somebody, we feel like, look, I am all that and a bag of chips. And so Lady Glenn said, it's Keisha roll eyes for me, right? Right. So it is
also, bro, you see, a big lie now, a very big lie, which to some degree, women are trained to think is that one woman cannot satisfy you. And this lie is so pronounced, it is sold to you that deep in your subconscious, you need to have more than one to be satisfied. And when you think about only one person having that ability to satisfy you, you get afraid because like your whole life is in one person. So you want to have other options. So if this person does not satisfy you, you can go to A, B, C, D, or E. It's a common lie. And a man don't feel say one woman can do it. It's like you, every day you get up, you eat chicken. Yeah, collide after a while. You want
what I say, Sean, you can't stew it, you can't fry it, you can't.
I agree. But I tell you about the mindset.
You don't know how to cook.
So and I think though it's a good point. It's a good point that we leave our marriages and our relationships to kind of just grow on their own, not realizing that it is going to be what you make it. You know, the grass will be green because somebody take care of it. And you say the grass will be green on the other side. Well, take care of your grass, make it look good. You understand? And I think that is another big thing that we get married and we just want it to just work. If fried chicken is mundane, then you're going Barbie fry and you're going to, but it's my chicken. And I think it is, I think for women, once you see a man who is ego driven, I think that is a
vulnerable.
So that he's not ready. He might mean well, he might take good care of you, he might do a lot of the, but if he doesn't have his ego under control, it means then that his ego can lead him astray. It's just something to pay keen attention
and that's
to.
also, bro, it linked to also self-control. You see, you have to practice self-control even before you are married.
Yep.
But
Marriage
our
don't fit
culture
you.
is you do your own thing, you have the girl them, and then decide, say, I'm gonna settle down now and be
Yeah.
faithful. You have fool yourself.
Like marriage are
You, Christian, because you have trained yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, your thing to respond to whatever comes. You're going to respond. And so it's a host of issues, but at the end of it all is not self. I want to satisfy me, even if others are hurt in the process. I is number one. And when I is number one, I only care about I, and I do what I want. I don't care about the consequences.
And then Sean,
Yeah.
because we live in such a male-centric world,
Yeah.
it becomes a real task to see the picture from the woman's point of view.
Yeah.
The other day I saw a post where somebody said, so if you should flip the roles between men and women. So oftentimes you'll hear people say to a woman, if the man cheats, still stay with him. If I'm gonna breed 1, 2, 3, 4 women out the road, stay with him. Whatever. The person flipped the script and said, okay, the woman cheats on you and now has 3 children for 3 different men. Stay with him.
Hey!
And then when you start to think about the story,
But thank God me I drink something strong.
when you start to see the story from that perspective, it paints a different picture because now you become the victim in the story. Well, a friend told me that.
By the way, Brandon, I'm too much friend. Everything what a friend tell me, a friend said. But anyway, I believe you are speaking about a friend. And nameless, go ahead, I'm friend. Go on, talk. As you were saying.
If I am the player in the story, and I want to make sure that I look good, it is best for me to tell the story. If somebody else tells the story, then they can decide how they want to paint that picture. So even in the case of Derek Jackson, he told his own story. And because he told his own story, he could paint the picture, set the scene, do everything, how he wanted it to look. And because of this male-dominated space, the world that we've created, and even how we use the Bible to support that men must be in charge and men are the only persons who are, needed. The women are just supporters. It paints a wider picture of why women, if we don't change the culture, we'll always be victimized.
Oh.
All right, bro. Here's how men are wired. And let me say this. I will acknowledge that what I'm about to say is unfair, biased, wrong.
Alicia, hold him.
I'm saying this.
Wait. Hold him on.
I am telling you, what I'm about to say is unfair, is like hypocritical, whatever. Yeah. When a woman get born, the man expect her to understand and forgive and move on. Hear me. When a man get born,
in internet just see like a chip out.
I don't want to say never. He will never understand. He will never understand.
Sean,
yeah.
It froze a little. Can you go back to when you started talking about when a man is cheated on?
Okay. When a woman get born, the man expect the woman to understand, to forgive, and work towards moving on. When the man when the man get born, he will never understand. When I say never, I don't mean never, but never understand. if the man stays, very rare does he go back to the pre-born person. Very rare. If he goes back to the pre-born person, is Jesus by some grace of God. What the man stays, he may stay, but he'll never be the same. And men are fragile, we are wounded, and he'll stay there and hurting her. And you'll never ever trust her or love her or feel the same way again. Now, is it fair? I don't think so. But when men are violated, it's a deep disrespect kind of thing that wounds man deeply. And for some reason we are.
But
like
we are idiots then.
There's a chip in our brain that now work.
And we are the clappy.
No, there's a chip in
here,
our brain that
and
now
the teacher and say it's all right and whatever I wanna do. Oh, we're just gonna forgive and move on. And we are the idiot. That's why we keep doing
No,
it.
no.
That is the problem.
No. It's not just
that it is okay to do whatever you feel like,
but you know,
because we will forgive you.
No, let me say this, Sean. That was one of the points I wanted to make, that the culture, how we teach our men, how we tell them, as you said, that you can't survive, you can't be one burner, you have to be a man on one burner stove. How we are ego driven and it is accepted. All of that, but what I think stamps the culture is the fact that women buy into the culture. I believe men will in relationship do what they are somewhat feel like they're allowed to do. They are allowed to get away with. Case in point, if I was allowed to get away with leaving the toilet seat up, it would never go down. Reality, if Keisha never in my skin, and I just can't bother, it would never go down. Yeah. If I am allowed to,
that one was nipped in the bud before, like within months of marriage.
If I was allowed to work late and just focus on getting things done, you know, like the joke about the man will say, you can't be late for work, you can't late for school, you can't late for church, but you can't late for yard. So they come home late, they say, oh, you're late for guy yard. So I would probably fall in that trap. That you just want to get this done, you have to get that done. But these are things that I know don't make Keisha feel good, you know, and I want to honor my wife, I want a happy marriage. So there are things when you realize that it is not accepted as a good husband.
As a good husband,
you will try and deal with certain things, right? Culture though says to the man that if what you is a good man, you feel bad about it, you tell her sorry, she might bawl, she might even leave, you go run her down, she come back. But if she give you man, put the banner with the A, you know, adulteress. Back in the day they used to brand. Yeah, and they commit adultery. But yeah, you know, and so the culture teaches us that. I mean, Shirley Gooding says, look, stop blame culture, we don't have brain. But culture impacts your brain. I'm telling you, culture does. And so that's why I believe, you look at, that's why I believe so clear. Yeah, we have to reteach. You need programs like this to reteach. You need Brandon to tell young men that, listen, you can have one person and be happy, because the counterculture is louder than us. We just sit down in our yard and enjoy our little married life and laugh off of Derek Jackson. But we're not going out there. This is how we have built what we built. This is what we have gained from building what we have built. This is the pluses. And Sean said something earlier too about you train yourself. You train yourself from pre-marriage. And this is why I believe what the Bible says is real. When the Bible says no sex before marriage, you say, oh yeah, crap my style. But I want to push in a bag. I have to see if him can manage the work. I'm telling you, if you can't control yourself pre-marriage, it's going to be hard to control yourself after marriage. And this is the practice that you need. I want to throw something out there though to all our women in black ready to shoot, to kill. I want to throw something out there. If what Derek Jackson did was wrong.
If what we do
No,
is wrong.
no, I'm going to summary. What would be the best way? Not necessarily Derek, but to a man out there that has cheated, he's hearing us. Him say, boy, when I do it wrong, I'm gonna need to make it right with my wife. How should he go about confessing? What should he do? Should he even confess? What would you say? What would you say to a man? He's hearing us saying the culture needs to change, it needs to this, it needs to that. And he is of a farmer culture, and he's now saying, what must I do to be saved? What would you instruct such a man to do? Alicia face has start loud, so we start with Alicia.
Here is my suggestion to that unfortunate man. You see, I would say
That unfortunate man. Keep going.
I would say write a letter, put it in a vault somewhere, register, mail it, something, and keep that letter sealed and hidden somewhere far buried deep down in the ground. You make up your mind, say, what I do was foolishness, I'm not do it again. And from that day, you take every step you can to correct where you made the mistake. Because brother, if you come tell me that, is a no, I'm not saying I'm gone. I leave a little window. But what I'm saying is it's a
little
long road back. It's a very, very, very long road back. Now the reason why I'm tell you write the little letter and put stuff safe and postmark it is to say, should what happened to Derek Jackson where the other woman come out and start load up the thing and ray, you say to yourself, wifey, this is what happened. Analyze, share, tell, but can you tell me what the difference is in my behavior? How our relationship has changed over the last 2 years? This is when we make the change. I assure the letter. Maybe you can get some points. But brother, if you confess something when me no know, like what me I say is, make up your mind, change the way you're acting, and let's move forward and you make every step for correct it. Because there's no guarantee when you done if you want that relationship and you just made a confession there. Say one, shake a stay. Say two, like what is going to take to build back that trust? I can tell you, I mean, I've been married now, it's nearly 13 years now we're married, and we were together 5 years before that. Because of how he acts, me have the ultimate trust. Me not know when I'm dead, certain things, whatever. Should this come to light now, you know wait I gotta take to build back that 18 years there?
Yo.
Wait I gotta take to build back that 18 years of trust there?
I feel pressure. I feel pressure. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me.
I'm going to pose it to the same question to Jay, but I just want to read something in the chat. Charmaine Brim. Anyway, the issue is not what women allow. Society must stop saying women need to do this and women need to do that. You mean men are puppets. They can't take charge of their own behavior. You know, just quickly to touch on it, I think definitely men have to change how they behave. But just as a father, as a pastor, what do you say to women who want to get married, who are currently dating? It is more a word of wisdom if you are, especially not yet married, but dating someone, you are looking to get married, set your standards early, will help you to weed out trouble. That's really what we are saying, that this can help down the line, that there are some clear.
Some men play the game.
Some men
well,
do,
you know.
yeah. Some men do play the game very well. I do agree, but it helps, and I can go into many other things that can help. But I said one of the things that I've seen is that culture really have let our women know. Yeah, women will tell us, say, listen, yes, him gone out there, but I might bid him sleep at night time. Him come back every night. The culture has really shifted that way, and what it does, it helps men to continue cheating. So that's what we're saying. Because there are men who mean well, but they realize they can get away with something. And so let us not give them that much rope. For a woman that, it's what can I do? A part of it is just kind of lift the standard to let, this is my stand, this is where I am, but it's not to blame women.
What else can the man do though? I mean, my wife just outlined some things. I'm curious, what can a man do? Let's say a man sincerely, genuinely, he was convicted. He wants to reestablish his
convicted after how much offenses?
Hold on.
Lisha, what you said is
convicted.
What Lisha said is that he shouldn't say something.
No, she's saying
immediately.
Understand
he shouldn't say something immediately. He should try and say, all right, outer road across is, let me fix my life here, so. And then so down the line, by the time you have to confess, you can't. That's what he said.
No, what I'm saying is if the confession is not needed, then maybe that is also a route. Maybe what you should do is fix your ways, start treat your wife right. But as I say, have the little backup plan, because should she find out and know say you violate her and the trust is broken and people out the road know and you never tell her and all of them someday, you can drop a little letter to say, baby, this is the day I confess to you, but I never really want to mash up your head, so I'm going to try to build back everything, and these are the changes that I implemented in my life to make sure our marriage was improved and all of them something there. Because what I'm saying is, when you don't tell me that after 18 years of my trust, and no guarantee you have this wife. So what is your objective? Is it that you want to keep me? Then if you want to keep me, let's just work from here. So build, do what you need to do, and secure what is the future. Should I find out some years later and then you start talking to me and say, this is what happened and this is what happened, maybe it would be more palatable. And I guarantee you, if it is that this man out there do anything when he want to do, and he has made a change, while his wife might not know, say something bad did one, she knows that he has changed. Come on, we're living on for 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week. I'm saying, I don't know if as a wife, like if you come up, if you have this big epiphany and you decide say you're gonna change your ways, I don't know that I want that confession with this day, because I don't know what my answer is going to be, and that is the real and honest truth. I believe in till death do us part. I am never the black and white person that says infidelity will make me leave. But may I tell you, say, you don't know the levels and some of the things that when me hear out the road like one, me are like, that's a no for me.
Gio,
I want the confession up front, so I can decide how to deal with it right then and there. And expect for maybe the same reasons, because there are more than one versions of the story out there. I prefer to hear it from my man than who else is out there. So tell me upfront, confess. If you want to write it, maybe call me on the phone. Kind of ease it in a little bit before you come home, but definitely tell me upfront. Let me know.
Yeah, but what does a man do who, as I said, genuinely, sincerely made some bad choices and he wants to make amends and he wants to continue the relationship? What does he do?
Well, he must know his wife. As I said, for me, it might be easier if Brandon calls me before.
Yeah.
And come home and split.
Yeah.
So call me when you're up on the road, start it off a little slow, and then when you come home now, you finish it up. Maybe by the time you reach home, calm down. But it depends on the wife, really.
Let me just read this quick comment pointed towards you, Sean. Stephanie Troncoso says, Mr. Williams, praying for your grace to continue walking the straight and narrow, cause your wife now play.
Please, please and thanks.
Alicia. Quite a few people, same Alicia. And some people agreeing with Gio that they prefer hearing upfront. But Brandon, you're going to do something?
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize something that you said earlier, to add to what you said earlier. That women need to stop. Oh, is this a Christian environment? I need to know what I can and cannot say.
You can say
No, man.
anything.
It's a everybody
man.
environment.
Anything goes, man. Don't
You
worry.
can say anything you want to say.
Anything that won't get you read out at church.
Yeah. I'll geobox you later.
Yeah, you mentioned that women need to stop taking the nonsense from men and the other things that they're saying. But also, I would also add, Cav, that backtrack. I read a post today where a woman entrepreneur who's a multimillionaire in the US. She's a black woman, a successful black woman in her business, and she decided to remove black and woman from her title to just say successful entrepreneur or CEO of whichever company. And people chastised her. She said that she doesn't believe that she needs to emphasize being black or a woman because it should be just as good that she is a successful entrepreneur in the environment. And the people who were bashing her were both men and women. But after reading it, I started thinking to myself that if men, especially in relation to this, if men came out and started speaking against this a lot more, I think it may become easier for women to even just stop accepting the BS.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. I understand that there's a cultural issue, and I understand, which we mentioned before. But when the person said that, man have sense and if you stop blaming the culture, I think it really starts with us men that know better. We need to start speaking out, being ahead of this, and actually standing with these women to say that this is really not right, and stop saying that it's a cultural problem.
I hear you guys, and I, in principle, understand and support. But I think, especially as relates to sex and cheating, I do believe that there are men who want to stop but don't even know how to stop. That they are almost bound by it. They are almost trapped by it. And I can say it's easy, but yet his own makeup, the way how he's wired, the way how he has trained himself, he finds himself in a position that he does not know how to. And so if we as a society think that this is an issue and many of our men are trapped in that, there has to be some form of way to rehabilitate, to facilitate them coming out, that they can become better husbands and better fathers. Simply having a slogan and chastising and condemning don't work, because it don't work yet. It's not working.
Sure.
And to acknowledge it and to create a room for those healthy, non-judgmental conversation to work, men, because men don't know. Enough men don't know. Enough men don't know how to take care of a woman. They don't know how to serve, don't know how to love.
So why are we getting married then?
Ask them.
Because what I understand, and I agree with the non-judgmental environment, but what do you do about the women who are so broken and left with a lot of damage and just all kind of things just from these relationships? Women who try to do everything to please the man and yet it wasn't enough. What do we do about that?
You see, and that's why the whole societal fix, because like for me, like I know I'm probably a little bit out there, like not the typical middle ground person. But even when I hear these conversations about the woman doing this to please the man, it feels like such an inequitable situation to me, where it is a woman clamoring after this man, trying to please, trying to set everything right so that him don't leave. Let me tell you something. I accept no responsibility for the action of any man who decides to step out. I do not accept responsibility. I am not accepting any shame. Me, I go walk with my head. It don't happen to me in Jesus' name. But I'm saying, like, so much comes down on the woman where we do all of this to please a man, forget a man in the first place, forget to be the one that's chosen, for now please the man. It is now our responsibility to keep the man. What?
Exactly.
Like I'm like,
hold on. To quote Shirley, Shirley, when I brain too. When you can't think for yourself.
Right.
No.
So this is my
Many
point.
women think like that, right? Agree?
Yeah.
I want to jump on that.
Don't they have brain to think otherwise?
But this is why I'm saying it's a whole societal fix. It is a problem for a woman get raised up to believe, say, she have to do this, she have to do X, she have to catch man, she have to gone. There was a time in my life when you find a good man, you lock him down, you make sure you breed. You lock him down, you make sure if you find a man with money, you make sure you always have a connection to the money, you breed. Even if you let you in must mind the picnic. There are just some things that women are taught that makes us feel like we have to run back a man. You can be strong in your own strength. You can be confident. Say, let me tell you something. You don't meet my standard. I'm good by myself. You have to be there, but me not don't talk. But you also, we also have to be at the place where we are good with little boys crying. We are good in the church as a man to say, when I got married, I was a virgin. You will hear a woman wear a virginity on her chest like a badge, like, you know, I saved myself from marriage. I never hear a man say that. Because in our strong up culture, I mean, you look no further than Bounty Killer song, I did myself. Bounty Killer song, but more girl. When you listen to how sex is described, sex is a weapon for a man, and when him done, him win and the woman lose. This what I'm saying? So the training that we've gotten as women and the training that we've gotten as men, something wrong with it, and we have to change it as a society. In all of the major institutions, in the family, in the school, in the church, we have a whole heap of work to fix this. It's not a little one fix.
That's all I'm saying, that the same way men are culturally programmed, women are culturally programmed as well, where marriage become like, I don't know, like the holy grail to be married is something to aspire and pursue above all else. And the same way men are defined as having enough women are defined by being married to a man. So both sexes are taught the wrong things and aspire to the wrong thing, and they have wrong action. Go, Brandon.
So what I was saying, you know, Sean, especially in relation to women, you know, women having a brain for themselves, or you know, whatever it is, and I do agree with Leisha. So I'll give an example. So right now, I believe that I work at a very, very good company. I've worked at other companies before, but the culture that is currently at this company that I'm working at is not the typical organizational culture. You feel a lot more favored, and like you're a person and not just a number. You feel that you're adding value to the company. You can talk to the directors. It's a first name basis type of business. It's very simple, very free. And there are people who, one, to meet the high requirement, you will have to think this way, right? The second thing is, if you join the organization and you don't think this way, then you are just going to leave because you don't fit in.
Yeah.
I think, as I was trying to say earlier, though we may have, you know, this is what happens. As I said before, Sean, Kavan, Brandon, King Neil, all the other good married men that we know, we have to step ahead of this and start to create that culture that we want. Martin Luther King Jr. started with one little dream, in one and God, and that dream grew into a movement. It has, we have to, it's not just Sean, you know, men, women, you know, lifting their standards or all of those things. We have to sell it too. If it's different when a victim tries to support another victim versus when the so-called victor stands in front of the victim to defend why the victim needs to be protected. It's very different.
But bro,
yeah.
You see, my thought is, whatever is celebrated is imitated. You hear me? Whatever is celebrated is imitated. We do not celebrate faithful men.
True.
We don't celebrate loyal men. We don't celebrate good husbands.
Right.
We chat enough, but we don't. Who do we put up? Whether it be advertising, promo, government, local, nah, wherever is the gallus them.
And
Yeah.
So I don't see Brandon on a billboard, 2 children, there. Faithful man.
Insurance package. You see it in an insurance.
Where I can aspire to be like you. I see a figure who have 3, 4 girls, 5 baby mother, and them the country. Then the country big up. So I aspire to be what we celebrate. It's a truth.
To add to that, you know, Sean, and again, even if we should flip the script, I mean, sometimes you sit down and you watch like People's Court or Divorce Court or whatever.
Yeah.
You hear couples come out and the wife saying that, boy, I think my husband is being unfaithful and I want a divorce. And when they're doing the lie detector test, they have to redo the lie detector test because they've had frequent threesomes. So they already practice a space where the man is already elevated as being in charge.
Yes.
He is the one who dictates what the sex life is like. But make the woman ever say she wants the next man for in the threesome.
No, son.
If a man say yes to that, I'm going to tell him left him.
So why you not tell the woman to left the man?
No, if him ask for threesome, 100%
threesome.
leave. Him no value, 100%.
Why?
Question whether that relationship.
We have
For me, though, I'm just right now, to be very honest, in the past year, we have seen some men who were of note character-wise, fall short. So I like my esteemed brothers to help me. How do I prevent myself from becoming another statistic, another victim to my desires and my need for self-gratification? How do I just make sure I don't become somebody else who they are trolling on social media? You know, you say you're pastor this so and so, you come on and spill the tea with Cavan and them the marriage coaching and you still go flop. You're a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. How do I prevent me? Because I don't believe, right? You know, there are men who are dogs, all right? There are men who are just dogs. But there are men who really and truly start to go.
Are not equipped.
Had good intentions, you know? So, go on, tell me, help me, somebody.
You know, there's so much to it. There's a lot, but I think one of the things that is missing is accountability in marriage and accountability with men and men. So I think one of the things when Leisha was talking about write that letter and bury it, one of the things I was thinking,
No, she
you
said
would have postmark
I
it.
didn't send it back to you.
Yeah, man. Say that you can mark it and verify
So
the
that you
date.
verified it.
Yeah. Is that letter would have me saying the reason I fell into this, one of the things that gave way to this maybe is because I was frequently, let us say, taking a lot of extra hours at work. And so we were in a, where I would have to leave work at 5, I start leaving at 8. So a couple of the weekdays out of the week, I would go to whoever house. So what am I going to, so hold on, what am I going to do now is to say that I will not take any, or if I'm going to take extra hours, it's going to be in this system, in this way. You get me? I say, or so I'm pointing out areas in my life that I abuse so that I can live a lifestyle of cheating. If it is my phone, here what? I am going to make sure you have full access to my phone. I'm going to make sure not to be my police, but to have another layer of safeguard. You know.
Well, if you confess something, I'm gonna be a police if you want to stay.
So
Otherwise,
it is accountability like that. You know, I deal with teenagers and I would say to them, if you, especially a young woman come to me, you know, I'm sexually active, I want to stop, right? So they want to pray for them and say, you really want to stop? Yeah. If you really want to stop, go home and tell your father. You know, no, you know, because sometimes we make everything so spiritual, and I'm not knocking the comment that was made about, you know, choose men who love God and stuff. But I want to tell you, a lot of the men who have been revealed in recent times, I would believe love God more than me. A lot of the men, I mean, I look up to some of these men, I read their books and I'm encouraged. I literally, one of the guys that think that I have their book and was literally reading their book when the confession was made. So the point I'm making is you can be very spiritual and cheat on your wife. I think there are some practical things that you need that's going to need more than you just praying and speaking in tongues. And I think a part of it is accountability. If you're not accountable to your spouse, you have too much wiggle room for problems. I can get away with anything. I don't have to tell her where I'm coming from, where me did go, who called me, who sent me this, what. So because of that, I just can live a free life. I'm not accountable for my money. I could have 3 children in a Barbuda. She don't know much me get paid. She don't know much I'm sending to Barbuda. She don't know anything. If I go on a trip, I say business trip, she don't know much about it. I gone for the weekend. The level of unaccountability to our spouse is dangerous. And then I think we also need to be accountable to other men. Because the reality is as other good men. Reality is men know men. Men love women love men, but men know men. Can I say it like that? I need that safe place. I need to say, well, Brandon, you know, Susan did bouncing on me. We don't know if it was an accident or not, but her breast rubbed on me and she kind of looked back and smirk. I mean, I know what the smirk they mean. And Brandon said, hear me, I said, stay away from Susan. And you keep that level of accountability. And said, but I mean, it could have been an accident, you know. Hear my brother, that's the fact so that coming out your heart, it means that you need to think that, you know, and you have that level of accountability with men. Those are I mean, that there's so many other things we can talk about, but I think that's a big step in the right direction. And especially with your spouse as well, we really need to start to be open and accountable. We not just tell them what you're doing, but you are explaining, you're talking. One of the habits, Keisha, hate that I had, and I little better know, recently I'm going to do it and she never mean stay, but I put my darn foot down. And I'm joking, but is that I would text and talk on the phone. Male or female, it don't really matter. I just use my phone no matter what time of night. Keisha hates it, no matter who. It's too late. Don't call them, don't this, don't that. And it is actually better for me because being a pastor, being a publicish figure, being as one person called me, a celebrity, a celebrity, not really a celebrity, but kind of known by people. You don't want your good to be spoken of. And so that's a level of accountability that she can tell me, do not use your, hold on there, upon take over me because she can't tell you when to use your phone or not. But that's the type of thing that you need to have. Lorraine Linton says they call accountability nagging. Well, that is where, again, you, the woman, have to partner with these principles and to say, this is the type of thing I expect. When you're getting married, you're supposed to kind of talk about expectations. These are some of the things that I expect accountability. I expect to be able to say to you that I need to know how much you get paid. I need to know if you cannot, if I can't have your phone password, we can't get married. That means you don't trust me. No make no sense to build one relationship and not trust. If you know, and I'm not saying, trust me, the level we have to get there because many Christian men are cheating. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. People who are laying hands on the sick and the sick are recovering are laying something else on something else. All right? And right, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. And at my level and Pastor Sean's level, where we can knock heads with people of in ministry and stuff like that, it's sticky bad. And so we realize that doing 40 days fasting needs more than that. You know, it needs a level of accountability that we don't practice. Men, and I leave it at this, men, women are grown to be independent and men are grown to be unaccountable. And those two things are a recipe for disaster in marriage. When a man is growing up, if I grew up with an older sister, all right, she's what? Older than I am. Yet, if she's going out, there is more pressure. Where you're going, why you're going, what you're going, how you're going. I could get up as a teenager, leave the house from 10 o'clock and don't come back till night. I'm just, me to play ball. Clearly, you're not play ball from 10 to 8, but that is the synopsis, and it is okay. So when I get married, I don't want nobody to stress me. Me to play ball, but you play ball for 12 hours, but it's stop a Brandon. So you spend 6 hours of play ball, and you know, you get annoyed because you learned that. You learned that you don't have to say what you're doing. You can't go down the road and come back because that's how we were going. We have to break out of that. Is there a spiritual side to it? Of course. But I think sometimes you have to realize when the Bible says submit yourself one to another, these level of accountability are spiritual principles and guidelines. If there is something spiritual, confessing your sins one to another, that level of accountability with your brother, it is a spiritual. In fact, you talk about how you can heal the brokenness in men. The Bible says, confess your sins one to another, then pray for each other, you might be healed. That there is a healing in that openness and having that openness and that safe space. But we live in secrecy as a culture, and it is destroying our men and destroying our marriages, and it has to stop. I feel like I'm talking for too long, so I leave it at that.
Okay, before I speak, guess what? Lisha and I are holding hands, and she hold my hand. All right, and she hold my hand, and she little go hand with me. Yes, I hold on for her man. Yes.
So dramatic.
But bro, I think a concern for me is the new thing nowadays where I meet Lisha, let's say, at one club, and 2 weeks later, men are dead and involved.
You're very generous.
2 weeks. And there has to be a time period of in friendship where you get to know somebody before you commit the rest of the person. No, I'm not saying that somebody can't pretend and trick you, but I think when you focus on establishing friendship, that's where you begin to see the person, their flaws, and you can determine, do I go further with that person, or can we work on this while we get there? Because the truth is, there are too many people who are involved and don't know each other and have some lofty expectation that cannot be met. No, and again, the accountability is key, especially when as relates to our choices. You know, and I think for me, I know for me as a man, one of the reasons why I've been able to maintain some measure of decency is because I have other men in my life. And I can remember as a young man, my mentor, God bless my mentor, Dr. Conway Edwards. He said, Sean, take out your phone. Took out my phone. He said, how much girl you have in the phone? Like, how much girl name? I'm like, couple hundred well. He said, how much man you have in the phone? Real men. I said, like, few. He said, bossy, you're not gonna make it.
Oh.
Not make it. You can't have more girl in your life than real, authentic men of God. If you don't have that, matter of time, because you cannot do this race alone. And when you have a man, a brethren, who will talk truth to you, hold you accountable, and push you, and expect the best of you, it makes a tremendous difference. And so, sadly, too much man has some friend who just careless, you know, waste. So accountability is key, especially when it concerns peers or friendships. We're done.
Can I say, just looking through the chat from time to time, you know, you see a few responses about, you know, the Holy Spirit and all of that. I will understand. You know,
Sorry.
The Holy Spirit is who you know, convicts you and keeps you and all of that. But people, like, I don't want it to be missed how easily something like this can happen. Where just leaving yourself unguarded can make something happen without you having any kind of intentions. And it's one of the things, and I've always said about my life that God has gifted me by just showing me some things at a very young age where me just, you know, put them under my bonnet and they come in handy later on in life. I remember one time I was somewhere. I was a young woman, and I wasn't in a relationship at the time. Yeah, ignoring.
Better know you.
So I was a young woman, wasn't in a relationship at the time. And there's this guy that I had to interact with, right? Nobody that remotely interests me. Him come from the opposite background to what I like. Him have different mannerisms to what everything about him was the extreme opposite of what would attract me in a guy. And I remember a season having to work very closely with this young man for a couple of weeks. One day, he was just close to me. I'm gonna feel something and I'm like, what is that? Proximity. Just my proximity and the fact that we were put in the same situation for extended hours over a period of time. This brother will check nothing from my list. All of a sudden, one of my antenna fly up. And you see from that, let me tell you something. I am nearly 42 now. I have never been disloyal in any relationship. I don't have that problem. And you see me have about 3 different walls. I'm going to say it every time I come up on a live right here. So I have about 3 different walls where you would have a scale before you even reach in a space where my husband might be threatened. You see what I say? We have to be practical. And some of the impractical things that I see happening in the church, all about with people, I'm like, simple things like you don't
watch who you eat with. remember I tell you, going out to dinner or lunch or breakfast, there is a spiritual connection that is formed, especially when a two are alone. So therefore, as a married man, you can't go to lunch with anybody because those things they form bonds which lead to other things, emotional attachment, and these things, though they are very subtle, if you don't check it, it leads to certain. I'm gonna tell you, watch who you eat with. Let's go.
Yeah, and just be practical, people. Like I've seen where, like, you will have a man. Let's say a man in the church, and he's like, but I don't have a problem with infidelity. I've never been unfaithful, Yet still, this is a man who masturbates. Yet still, this is a man who watches porn. We don't see these things as building blocks. You left yourself unchecked in an area where you are self-pleasuring. The Bible talks about sex between two people. Any number outside of two, be it 1, 3, 4, or 5, is illegal. You understand what I'm saying? You put your mind in certain spaces by what you're taking via your eyes, and you don't feel like that is a stepping stone to reach somewhere. You put yourself in a bad place by what you're taking through your ears, and you don't feel like it. So I'm saying, people, let us be practical. Do not be alone with people, whether you have a problem or not, and check the things them in your life that need to be checked. If you can't be honest with your own self, you're not gonna make it.
Wow.
You're not make it.
Good points, wife. Excellent points.
Brandon, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
I was gonna add, I like using examples from mine. This is not a friend, Sean. This is me now.
Finally. Yeah.
So there are certain things, just like we were talking about practical things, there are certain things that I don't do. And if I do, they're with very select people.
Yeah.
And that select few is possibly my family. So I don't hug girls from the front. I don't because, well, my wife is, I don't because breasts and nipples can turn me on. And I don't want to be in a weird situation where I may or may not have found this person attractive and we go hug them up and boy, heaven and hell go break through the same time.
Yeah.
And Lisa mentioned earlier that we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to know what triggers us, what does not trigger us, what do I like, what do I don't like, or what don't I like. And if we get to, if like in my case, if I wasn't honest with myself or just push it off and say, no man, I never nothing, or you know, maybe it's just I wasn't in the spirit at the time. You need to make sure that I am tuned in with the Holy Spirit, because I know I have my flesh under subjection, and you quote every scripture that you can think of. And then one of the things too, Nashan, it is easy to blame somebody else for your downfall. It's easy to say, boy, I was not in the spirit. You're really not saying that is your fault, you know. What you're trying to say is the spirit wasn't alive in you at the time. It's easy to deflect and push it elsewhere because, boy, you know, if I really do take accountability, then it becomes my fault and I need to do something to fix it. Instead, I think one of those practical things, Leisha, is really being honest with ourselves. And all the things that we did when we just got married, even to Cabot's point earlier about accountability, was we combined our accounts. Not because I didn't trust Gia or Gia didn't trust me, but I think it was an intentional move to make sure that we were accountable.
Well, my wife, wow, I think my wife knows my phone password.
Mine too.
I think she have my email password. Wait,
I say everybody.
All right. Nobody tell YouTube wash out phone password. And everybody
Yeah,
knows.
please. Phone password, email password, Facebook password.
Every password.
Every password. And she does not go and search and say, oh yeah, talk to whatever. But knowing she has it and knowing she has access to it is also one of my walls that you put up. Also, if your wife or your girlfriend says, be careful of that girl.
Woman, no woman.
Yo, them have one third eye, yes sir, where them can see.
Yep.
So if you can't see it, just check because they can see. And also, sometimes we men know when other girls like us.
And
even though we're not interested, we still try to act normal with them. And sometimes our normal behavior can inspire them to dream. You know?
Yeah.
So we have to be aware, even for their own heart and their soul as well, to make sure they don't get anything to feed that. And that's where the ego comes in, where, because as a man, sometimes, you know, you're not left, you know, but you like being liked. You know, you feel good. Yeah. Because as Kaban said, your mind long, you want to say, yo, they still have it. Ego. So I have to check the ego, because here's why I tell this. You see, that man called devil, that devil is called devil for a reason. And he is very consistent. The moment you and your wife have a quarrel, it's the girl who you are entertained and she first text you out of the blue, right on spot, just as you're vulnerable. I'm telling you. So it's like you have to create such a life that you don't make yourself an easy prey, a victim. And that also means facing your insecurities, facing your shortcomings, and addressing them. And lastly, there is a distinction between privacy and secrecy. Secrecy, right, destroys. Privacy protects. Keeping our issues a secret destroy us. But if I share with Kavan and it remains private, I am liberated, I am encouraged. And too many of us, both females too, we have these things and we not tell nobody, and we are trying to do it by ourselves for years and not working. And we keep on making the same mistake over and over and over and going further and deeper into shame. We have to get help, man. Help is a strong word. Only strong ask for help, you know? But I want to ask the man my question because it depends on my heart all night. How we are talking about cheating from the man. More no. Man. One, how do you think you would respond if you're cheated on? And two, would you want to know? That's my question.
Listen.
Would that feel if you're cheated on? And two, would you want to know?
Listen, I have thought about this question for a couple of days now. And the more I think about it, I don't know if it's going to sound weird, sound weak. If it's a one-off thing, don't tell me. Just fix it up. Make a correction. When I think I can manage mental. If it is a ongoing, long-standing thing, I could know so we can figure out the exit.
Yo.
I don't know. That is when you need God and grace and strength. And I think feeling how I felt, just thinking about it, I can only imagine how a woman feels.
Yeah.
When this is something that they face over and over and over again. But I not lie. I don't think me want. If it's a one-time thing, why?
All right. If it is highly if it's highly unlikely I'll ever find out ever, don't tell me.
Don't tell you. Thank you, Sean.
Don't tell me. You know, go to God, call Keisha, get prayer,
But
get
how you
counseling.
feel if you find out?
Oh, me no want to know.
after a
Or
year?
ever do. If I'm likely to find out, tell me.
It's like if Sean come tell me, say,
If you're
in here,
married
say,
and it's up with somebody else, you're likely to find out.
if Sean,
Somebody else involved.
if Sean come to me and say, come on, me here, say, Keisha and John, because say, Sean, you chat too much, be happy. Sean, whenever I have a problem, I'm joking. But I tell you, but there's a part of me that just feels like I better live, I prefer, and this is not the right answer. But I'm just telling you, just grappling with the thought.
I'm a feel, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I prefer not know. But
I don't want to know.
it would have rough.
I'm being okay. Before Brandon goes, I'm being honest. By the way, it's even worse when others know.
Exactly.
If I'm me alone know and she know and the man know, it's kind of easier, but it's even worse when we can't in my mind even grasp it. It is foreign to my thinking. And I can say live on YouTube, I'd be a very broken, distraught man. I would have bawled like a baby. I would have hurted. No, my heart would have hurted. My heart would have hurted. And we don't know if through counseling, well, I know I'd have to be in the life of my children, but staying, even though in my mind I am saying that those part, you know, because I don't see my life outside of her. But just going through that, man, it has, you know why it be so hard? Because for me, prior to this girl there, every girl me even think about talk to, you leave room for mistake. It's like a ruler of 12 inches, right? You give them 9-inch and 3-inch in case stuff happens. You know, so your heart can be strong.
Sean. A different example so we can
come on.
A different example. Everything else God.
Sean Williams knows why
and then
he chose a 12-inch ruler.
You start with 9.
Sean Williams. Come on. Me and talk in third person. Sean Williams knew why he chose 12 inches, all right? Sean is very exact. He's a great communicator. So Sean Williams, leave room. Leave room.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Is the first girl in my life that me give all 12 inches. Glory be to God. Glory be to God.
Let's all out of the spirit.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for coming.
It was so good having you.
So yo, it's a hurted me. It's a honestly, it hurted me. Yeah, man. So you never know. God's grace is there. God's grace is there. Yes. Pun or no pun. That suit me at that. But yeah. Brandon, your turn. Me hear you.
Please, Brandon. Please.
Come rescue it.
Dignify the life again. Please, sir.
Glory. Oh, before that, let me answer the question. Limana asked, how soon before we got married did I combine our accounts? I think we probably did it within the month. I think so. I think we did it.
After or before?
We did it after, because we never married before.
We just asked. Come into the
I
question.
just wanted to be clear. It was a month before the wedding or a month after.
After we got married, we did it within, I think within 30 days, we combined our accounts.
By the way, on one quick thing, too many couples act like they're married before they're married. Well, no, it's not wise. It's not wise. I know a young man who had built house and a fixed house and I'm married. No. Certain things are from anyway. Go on, bro. Go.
Yeah. And then you also asked if me share my account information. Boy, if or what's for Sean? At Sean, your banking account password not confidential. You share that too?
If you have no banking account, we have a banking account.
Talk to them.
It's our banking account information. We keep it very confidential, sir. We make sure nobody knows our account.
Right. Yeah.
No, by the way, I want to say this as a disclaimer. I am always careful not to project my life or my marriage on somebody else.
Right.
I don't assume that every man can trust a woman or vice versa. I know I can trust mine. So that is how it works, because there is a high degree of trust there. And this is why trust is key. Trust forged in friendship. So I am at liberty to say, wifey, finances, I am aware of it. I oversee it, but she handles the details of it. Yep. No. Can she rob me? Yeah, of course she can. Of course she can. But I trust her not to. But don't think that I am saying this is all couples should. I mean, I don't want to go that far because it depends on the nature of your relationship. So, sorry, B, go, Brandon.
All right, so honestly, I mean,
question though. How would you feel? Remember, how would you feel?
I remember.
How would you respond? Yeah, what do you want to know?
I think I would want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel. You saying something, Keisha? Oh. Yeah, I don't know how I would feel. I don't want to know how I would feel either. But I think I would want to know if it's a one-time thing. Yeah, man, I do want to know too. It will break me. If it's a case where you're in a full-on relationship with somebody else, then I think I could just walk out maybe. I think that would be the end.
Which is easier to recover from or work through? A one-off thing or a full-blown relationship thing?
Which is easier to recover from?
Yeah, or potentially, okay, we can work through.
Isha can sure. If I want, right? Me willing for try.
For try.
Because
me no want no one.
I believe the best. I believe the best.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
And we established that, but just hypothetical scenarios. I'm saying the full-blown relationship thing.
To me, again, I said this guardedly, all right? I've always known a difference in bond. You know, like you have bond with respect and bond with disrespect. You know, I've seen people who go to great lengths to make sure that them other partner don't know, right?
It still work.
And I've seen folks who just don't care. Who don't care. I still think, I know it's bad enough, but I still think there is a measure of hope for the one who give one with consideration. The one just don't care at all.
Feel betrayed.
I think the one that don't care probably give it more consideration.
Really?
I think so too, because if you go through so much, then Friday, we can't trust nothing where you say after that.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
we are gonna build back that trust there. Just don't do it. That me have to say about it.
All right. Keisha, we hear loud and clear. We hear loud and clear. Come on, don't do it.
No?
Come on, don't do it. All right.
Juanita Bynum did preach one sermon one day, and she said, if you have a sin, just sin good one time.
Please note the comments on this live chat do not
Are not necessarily the
House
views
of Clay.
of House of Clay.
But if I should find out, which is also one of the questions, it's also in the comments.
Yeah.
If we find out, probably.
As in she not tell you?
Yeah, she never tell me.
Oh, wait, fine. Whoa, Lord.
No. Me think I could just take the car and drive. Me not know where I
Drive
go.
over who?
No, me just have a drive. However, me stop.
It was just said nice to wear. Just a baby, a curfew, what you mean?
Yo.
Just drive to the stop at one bar, drink some dragon, drink some Guinness.
No.
Son, anytime we see Brandon at one bar, I drink chocolate and
You know, I go on.
Gio.
I think, you know, even though we laugh and it's not funny, but I think the more we talk about it, the more I realize it's a very deep betrayal.
Yeah.
No matter the wise or the house, because it's when two become one, it's like, how do you unbecome one? You know, and this is why divorce for many is even more painful than death, you know.
Wow.
Because this deep connection, spiritual, physical, this oneness that's being dragged apart, you must have broken parts as you pull apart. You know, and to process that in the light of you yourself being faithful and giving your best can be tremendously painful. So I don't want to minimize anyone's pain or hurt. Thankfully, I've not experienced that, and hopefully I never will. But just want to say that there's healing for you that God can, man, and that you don't have to stay in that place of brokenness. And there's life after divorce, there's life after betrayal, and there's life after just brokenness, man. So don't give up and don't lose heart.
There's life after murder. I'm joking.
I'm not even laughing.
Are you laughing? And don't allow the past hurt to not dream or believe again, you know?
Right now.
Those are my thoughts.
You know, as we
man.
wrap up, because my girls are like, your time up now, daddy. We need their attention. But as we wrap no problem. Just as we wrap up, I'm just wondering if we just in a statement or so just any final words or thoughts just to encourage people that you can be married and live a faithful life.
Don't get fun.
Faithful and happy life.
Yeah, you can be happily married and you can be faithful. Be married for the rest of your life with one spouse. You know, I am around many men who are faithful. I think I think the bad side have a louder thing, but there are many men, young and old. Some recently married, some married long time, some with kids, no kids, who are their marriage is happy and they are not cheating. And so it is very, very possible to do it. And I think too, be around people, couples who are thriving for that. Be around other people. Sometimes when you're only around certain kinds of people, men will talk about, me can't do that, oh, me no know you married, you know. I couldn't do that. It's a recipe for disaster. So what encouragement would you give to somebody, just to, as we close, to encourage them that you can have a happy marriage and be faithful?
And I'd say that, you know, we hear all the time where the other thing has been glamorized or it makes the news more often than couples who are faithful to each other. But we're out here, and I know it's not 3 or 4 couples I know that are remaining faithful and committed to each other and that are happy doing so. It's a whole heap. It's not like it's a little bit. So I'm saying, even to those who may have started off or are in a place now where they're not honoring that and they're not being faithful and committed, I believe that once there is life, you can make the corrections, you can make the necessary edits, and it is possible to live your life fully committed to somebody and remain true and faithful to that person and have a fulfilled and happy union. It's out there, and yeah, strive for it.
The stats and the data show that married people live longer. Married people are wealthier. Married people are healthier. And the thing is, there is this narrative that has now dismissed marriage and even elevates side chicks above wives. Don't believe the lie. Don't believe that you cannot be involved in a meaningful, significant, committed, faithful relationship. And the joys of being in that is greater than what is portrayed. And so it is worth fighting for. It is worth sacrificing for. And must beware of this word called compromise. The enemy is never satisfied. He always asks more of you. And very often, he demands more than what he promises. So I know it's hard, but battle for it. Fight for your own wholeness, and fight for your marriage, and fight for your relationship. Those are my final words.
Amen.
Brandon and Gia.
Just like, I mean, marriage definitely takes work. It's hard work. But one thing I like to remind myself of is, I guess, to go back to scripture, the scripture that reminds us to esteem the other as higher than yourself. And that's a thought that I try to keep at the back of my mind. It's not just about me, it's not just about us, but to look out for the well-being of the other person. It doesn't mean that we're sacrificing our own good or sacrificing ourselves. But when I'm looking out for you and you're looking out for me, then we both get looked out for. I just encourage you to respect each other. That's really just the bottom line for us. Respect and keep working at it. Marriage can work.
Yeah. The only other thing I would say is to love intentionally and honestly. They don't be pushed into loving if you're really not committed to it. So yeah, don't just say that you love somebody. Actually show them in a way that they can understand. Communication is only effective if we both understand each other. I think loving intentionally, we have to, adding to what Gia said, put the other person's feelings, their life above ours, making sure that they're happy, that they are taken care of, that they're given the world where possible, and that we. I don't know. It all boils down to loving Sean and Kavan and Lisha and Tisha. I think it all boils down to to really loving each other in the manner that God respected and understanding truthfully. I think you probably need to do another two becomes one session, Cam. Truly understanding what two becoming one means, how it really means, one mind, one heart, one spirit. If you're cheating, it's tearing yourself apart more than just destroying the other person only. Talking about those things, I think love is really at the root of it for me.
Yeah.
Well
And
said.
also, is that what helps me is knowing that there's something that God has called us to do together, which is bigger than us as individuals. And if that is in our mind, we are willing to pay the price to preserve that and to protect that bigger thing. So that thing is called purpose. But anyway, so another day. Thank the audience for having us.
They must have it.
Oh, sorry. Right, call me a star. I'm used to it.
Remember your 12 inches. And that is remember your 12 inches.
I wanted to share a quote to answer the question. Well, it wasn't a question. Kavan asked to share a short encouragement. There's a popular basketball player called Wilt Chamberlain, and there's a quote that I kept coming across because it is alleged that he has had thousands of women in his lifetime.
Over
And
20,000.
Huh?
Over 20,000.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And so he said that, a lot of young men thinks it's pretty cool to have thousands of women or to have had 1,000 different women. But he has learned after all those experiences that having one woman 1,000 different times is much more satisfying. And society has taught us, a lot of people have this fear of missing out and fear of one person not satisfying them. But when you come to marriage with the right mindset, and it's not about being selfish or getting what you, as in pleasing yourself alone, you will realize that when both parties come together trying to satisfy each other in mind, when you learn each other's bodies and stuff like that, over time, it just gets better and better. And so that it is a lie that you are not going to be happy with one person forever. What breaks down relationships and causes fatigue and all kind of foolishness when as years go by or time go by is when there's a breakdown in trust, a breakdown in respect, a breakdown in different things that make a friendship and a relationships enjoyable. When you're not the type of person that is that someone will want to live with or be around, those are the things that will put a spoke in the wheel. But if we're considerate of each other, we love each other, we're not going to betray each other's trust, it only can get better.
Listen, and in closing, I know somebody mentioned in the chat about forgiveness, and we definitely do believe in forgiveness. We are Christians. That's a big part of, what our faith teaches. And I do think too, if you apply the mindset that we have to stay away from the different things that can easily lead to cheating and stuff like that, if something should happen outside what is accepted, forgiveness is a little easier. It's easier to forgive somebody who you believe means you well.
Yeah,
and been
consistent
more than but I just wanted to know though that it is possible to walk this married life and not cheat. That they can forgive you for keeping up the toilet seat, for squeezing the toothpaste at the top and not at the bottom, for what?
You watch 10 Commandments every year when Easter comes. that
You
need
know.
forgiveness too.
Right?
For scrolling through your phone and not paying any attention when you're there home.
You know, these are friends that we're talking about, Sean. Not
Yeah, friends. Brandon friend
so, but as you realize, cheating is such a high price and such a really tough thing to navigate through. And so we want to encourage everyone that would ever watch this live that you can go live a life without cheating on your spouse. And you can put the work and the effort in to ensure that the marriage is, because a marriage is way more than just sex. And because of that, as you build all the other part, it's like I can't imagine connecting with somebody like I connect with Keisha. It just feels impossible, you know. And those are some of the things that help you to make some of the better choices that keep you from ending up in certain situations. So we want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank our guests, the Williams and the Waz. We weren't going for W today, but we still got the win with the Williams and the Waz. I tried. One corny joke per night.
Never bad.
Never, but all right. Thanks to everyone who came on, and you guys really kept the chat buzzing.
Yes.
And we appreciate that. Thank you. Brandon, you're saying something?
I just want to say one quick thing. That wait for the comment on forgiveness. There will always be forgiveness for the perpetrator. That's the name. Yeah, but there also needs to be justice for the victim. And the two go hand in hand. In the Bible, in whichever world space that you are in, where there is forgiveness for the perpetrator, there has to be justice for the victim.
Yeah, and justice is not just justice, but is reparations as well. So cover and reparations. So if you cheat and she has to need the password, then you should even not.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, along with the
also, forgiveness does not necessarily mean you have to go back.
Exactly.
You can also forgive and move on.
Walk away.
If the justice include anything with the inches that are being given, don't forgive me.
No comment. No comment. Anyway, time for go.
This is how when I stay at 2 hours, eh? 2 hours. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Sean, Leisha, Giodale, Brandon. Amazing session. Thanks to our producers, Mijan and Kenil, for making the live possible from the back end as well. We didn't do Spill the Love this week, but we'll try and get it next week. Stay tuned. Onelia Taylor said, come back with part 2, please. We'll bear that in mind. See how we arrange that. But we have a lot in store for you guys. So invite us to share the link. Check out our Instagram pages. Check out our website, House of Clay JA, Instagram and Facebook, House of Clay Jamaica .com for our website. If you want to hear from the Williams, I saw believe.
So I believe.
Sean Andre Williams, I believe. That's it.
Sean Andre Williams.
S-A-W.
I believe. Okay. Go to follow Sean. And if you want to be in touch with the Waz, it's.
Well, which one?
Well.
You should do OG.
So, Giodale, excellent pastry chef, but she has some stuff too for people who don't eat sugar, stuff like that, vegan pastries. OGs. So that's OGs is what again, Gio? OGEES.
OHGEES. Oh.
So to follow that, excellent stuff. And
yeah, man, that's great.
The vegan cheesecake. But good. And Brandon is Brandon Wall, that's what he is.
I am Brandon.
I am Brandon Wall. And Leisha is Leisha Olivia. That's it?
Alicia Olivia.
All right. So follow up, everybody. Amazing people to follow, especially if you want to know what people do when they have good marriage. Follow us on. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
God bless, man.
Yeah.
God bless.
Bye.